And it's a presentation of Honorable Gbolahan Lawal, Lagos State Honorable Commissioner of Housing, and he is represented today by Murtala A. Balogun, Deputy Director, Lagos State Ministry of Housing. So he's going to be giving us a keynote address, after which we will have the big debate. So round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome Deputy Director from the Lagos State Ministry of Housing, Murtala A. Balogun. Thank you. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I need to see your energy levels. Let's see the food, the work that the food has done. Thank you.
Excuse me. Hello. Presentation is there. I think I would prefer to be. I can go ahead with this.
I'll go and ask for you.
Can I go ahead? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am standing here representing the Honorable Commissioner for Housing in Lagos State, Honorable Gbolahan Lawal, who is unavoidably absent today. I am Town Planner Balogun Murtala, the Deputy Director in the Ministry. The keynote address has this content that I will be reading and presenting to you on his behalf. First, I want to introduce Lagos to you. You all are aware Lagos State is the smallest state in size in Nigeria and is the economic hub of the country. It is a state that has a land area of about 1,577 square kilometers and is the largest urban metropolis in Nigeria, strategically located close to the beach and in the West Africa sub-region. It's a city that has economic activities that is propelling and being a catalyst to economic development in Nigeria and the West African region, especially for the western part of Nigeria. The city currently, by estimates from the Lagos State Bureau of Statistics, in 2011 has a population of about 20 million. And we are projecting by the year 2020, the population is going to rise up to 28 million people. The state government, in realization of the high rate of migration and the high population in the state, has set up concerted effort to addressing housing as a major challenge in the state. And currently, it is estimated that we have about 1.5 million deficit in Lagos, and therefore government has various models for housing ownership in the state. And one of the major policies of the current government is our rent-to-own policy. The rent-to-own policy is a policy whereby an allotee of our state apartment will make a deposit of just 5% of the cost of the house, and is expected to pay on a monthly basis for a period of 10 years to offset the cost of that unit. It means that as he pays his rent, he is buying and owning the house at the end of the day. Currently, the aim of the policy, as said, is to make access to housing for the low and medium income group into the state. Our target is to deliver about 5,810 units, and currently we have allocated up to 3,500 units. Those that are beneficiaries. We plan to have additional 5,000 to be delivered before the end of this year in our various housing estates. The future growth notes. One of the major aspects of concern to housing development is housing finance. The states make budgetary provision annually for financing housing. However, we believe that what has been achieved so far has not been able to meet up with the challenge. And therefore, we're looking out to alternative sources of financing housing in Lagos. And one of the major aspects is what we're trying to introduce, the Lagos State Affordable Housing Development Fund. This Housing Development Fund is to pool resources from both the public and the private sector, and it's to be managed by what we term the Lagos Affordable Housing Trust Fund. The trust fund is to have a board that is going to manage the pool of funds for the Housing Development Fund. And the details of modalities of managing this fund is already being worked out and nearing conclusion. However, the aim of this fund, as highlighted above, is to establish a fund as an agency to mobilize funds and manage it to deliver affordable housing for Lagosians. And also to ensure that the funds are channeled through the appropriate areas that are of need, that is for the low and medium income group in the state. And also to engage stakeholders, policymakers, community leaders, associations, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector to key into this Affordable Housing Development Fund as drivers and contributors to the fund, and to ensure that we publish periodically the successes and milestones that are achieved for public consumption. The implementation of the plan is geared towards us achieving our aim within the next 7 months. Already we are into the plan already, and what we are doing now is to submit our executive summary to His Excellency for necessary approvals. The next thing that we're going to do, apart from the Housing Development Fund, is to have a policy document for housing development in the state. The document have already been prepared and is already before His Excellency for approval. However, the aims of the housing policy is to make affordable housing accessible, that is adequate for Lagos citizens. And the aim is to facilitate access to home ownership at affordable rates in a neighborhood that is conducive for living. The other objectives is to increase continuously and a way to reducing the deficit that we have currently at 1.5 million in the state. We also intend that it also facilitate access to land for both the public and the private sector. We all know that Lagos has a very small land area, while the population is high, the density is also high. But government is already looking at the need for the private sector to be able to access land for housing development. And that one of the areas of our endeavor is to promote public-private housing partnership. And that is already being implemented in the state. Currently, we are implementing what we call Lagos Affordable Public Housing under the PPP program. The target is to deliver 20,000 units before the end of next year. Currently, we have developers in about 8 locations that are already developing the housing units. And the current set of those developers are expected to deliver about 17,000 units by the end of next year. The housing policy document Among other aims is to ensure that the existing housing estates are properly monitored and supervised so that infrastructure there will not continuously deteriorate. Then also to provide adequate infrastructures within government estates, collaborate with the private sector in the provision of housing, promote skill development in housing. We are really concerned about skill development because if you look at our current private sector development, most of our technicians and artisans are brought in from neighboring countries. And the state government have started the initiative by having what we call our skill development centers in 3 locations. We have in Ekpe, in Ikeja, and in Kotu. And there are people, candidates are already being trained to acquire necessary skills to develop within our housing estates. We also facilitate research into local building materials. And one of those achievements has been the use of bricks for housing. We have sample buildings within the Secretariat in Alausa that have been delivered with that effort, and also to create job and employment opportunities for Lagosians. As part of the consciousness to deliver adequate housing to the people of the state, we have developed, and we are already almost concluding also, a 10-year development master plan program. We are developing a 10-year housing master plan that is going to take care within the next 10 years the housing needs of the state. And this covers for the present and future housing demand and supply, already taking care of the demography of the state and segmentation of the income levels. We are focusing on medium and low income, but we needed to segment to know which area of needs to be given priority for housing development. We also take care of the socio-cultural matters in housing designs, and also finding financing housing development and urban regeneration for overall commercial development and social housing. The plan also is to develop further and implement this plan. We intend to have a group of experts that will be set up to assist in not only the plan preparation, but also ensure proper implementation of the plan, so that the aims of having the master plan could be achieved. And we are assembling people of high pedigree that are known to have performed excellently well in the industry, both within the public and the private sector. Excuse me. The team will be headed by financial experts, because we know to deliver this 10-year plan will require serious financing. Apart from the affordable housing finance and fund that we are trying to establish, we expect that the personnel that will be in charge of this plan will be financial experts, economists, and other people within the real estate sector. We also intend, as part of government plan, it's already captured in the state development plan, where government has a vision that in the year 2025, with the population of the state that's going to grow, we have to deliver affordable housing for our people. And the core area of the state economic development plan is focusing on economic growth, infrastructure development, social development and security, and also sustainable environment. Some of the key targets of our housing sector is that within the period within that 10 years, at least 40% of the citizenry will be owners of their own homes, while almost 100% will be properly accommodated within the state. The main policy areas are planning framework, multiple housing approaches, affordable housing, social housing needs. Under these social housing needs, the aim and plan of government is to dedicate certain percentage of this housing that is going to be developed for social housing, in order to take care of those that are within the lower area, that is the low income area. and also rural housing, innovation, and information. Now, we have opportunities for the private sector to join us in delivering housing for the state. And that is under the program Lagos Affordable Public Housing. We call it LAF. And the aim is to deliver, like I said earlier, 20,000 housing units for a period of 4 years, which begin in 2017. It's a joint venture program between the state government and the private sector. Under this initiative, the state is to provide the land at no cost to the developer and also facilitate proper documentation and necessary approvals of this housing scheme. The land that is provided and the fees that are supposed to be paid for approvals are not to be collected by the government, but will serve as government equity in that partnership, while the private sector is expected to bring the fund and expertise to deliver the housing under the Affordable Housing Program. We have, as I said, embarked on construction of about 15,000 units under this initiative, and we expect that by the end of next year, we shall be commissioning some of them. I also want to say before I round up that housing is a major area of the state where we have challenge because of the high rate of migration and the population density in the state. And that was why the state has deliberately created the Ministry of Housing to have a headlong focus and attack on reducing the deficit we currently experience in the state. I thank you for listening. Have a blessed day.